Okay, this is part two of our division problems. So I'm going to do number 3, which is 1,950 divided by 5, 2 ways, and I'm going to do number 4, 2 ways as well. So doing the regular way, I do not know how many times 5 goes into 1950, so if I hide my 0, 5 goes into 195, still don't know. But I do know if I hide the 5 into 0, 5 goes into 19 3 times, and I'm going to put my 3 over the 9. So that was the dirty part. The monkey, dirty monkey, I got to multiply 3 times 5. I get 15, and that's just going to go under the 19. Three. You can move on. I know you're going to be a little bit closer to somebody, but all right. Now you subtract. That's the smell part. So 9 minus 5 is 4. And then the bring down or bad, dirty monkey smells bad, I'm going to bring down my 5. Remember, you can only bring down one number at a time. Now I start this process all over again. Dirty monkey smell bad. I'm going to divide 45 divided by 5. I get 9. I multiply 9 times 5, 45. Subtract, I get 0. You are not done though in this case. Even though you have 0 as a remainder right now, did you know you have to still bring this 0 all the way down, which means you still have to do dirty monkey smell bad one more time. So divide. What's 0 divided by 5? 0. Now multiply it. 0 times 5? 0. Subtract. And ladies and gentlemen, you got a 0 remainder, but your answer is 390. For partial quotients, I can't do 1,000 times 5, that would be 5,000. And I can't do 100 times 5 because that's 500 and it's got to be 3 digits. So if I chose to do a higher number between 500, between 100 and 1,000, I could try to do 400, but that would give me 2,000. So I'm going to do 300. I'm going to multiply by 300. So when I do this, 5 times 3 gives me 15. And then I add my 2 zeros. I subtract. I get 0, 5, 4. All right. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So I cannot multiply by 300 now because I get 1,500 and that would be larger than 450. So I need something smaller. And again, 100 times 5 is 500. So I need something smaller than 100. I could do 10 times 5 and 50, but that's short. It's only 2 digits and not 3 digits. So I'm going to just let's throw out a 70. Let's do 70, okay? And I know 70 is going to work because if I take 7 times 5, I get 35. And then I just put the 0 in for it, and I get 350. So 70 times 5 is 350. That's why working with zeros is much easier when you're doing partial quotients. 5 minus 5 and 4 minus 3. 1. 5 goes into 100. Ooh, this one's easy. I know 5 times 2 is 10. So let's multiply it by 20. So 5 times 2 is 10. And then put my 0 on there. And I subtract. And I get a 0 remainder. Now, the only thing is, I don't have my answer up here, but I do have my score right here. And if you add these up, it should be the same number as the regular way, 390 and 390. Now, again, partial quotients, Allie and Addison, they could have used different numbers over here and still got the same answer, 390. Okay? They could have used 400 to begin with, and then 50, and then maybe 220s. Doesn't matter as long as it totals up. All right, let's begin number 4. So 7 into 3,105, I have no idea how many times that goes in. So I'm going to hide a number. I still don't know how many times 7 goes into 310, so I'm going to hide the 0 and the 5. How many times does 7 go into 31? 7 into 31. 7 times 5 is 35. That's too high, right? 4. Excellent. So put your 4 over your 1. That's the dirty part. Monkey. 4 times 7. 28. So you're going to multiply it. Now you're going to do the smell part. Subtract. Can you do 1 minus 8? Borrow from the 3. Make that 2. And this becomes 11. Excellent job. 11 minus 8 is 3. And 2 minus 2? You can put your 0 or you don't have to put your 0. Now you have to do the bring down. What are you bringing down? 0. And you start dirty monkey smell bad all over again. This time, though, it's 30 divided by 7. You had 31. 4 again. Yeah, multiply by 4 again. That's going to give you 28. Zero minus 8 you cannot do. Yep, and then that becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. And what's the last part you have to do? Bring down the 5. Yep, dirty monkeys all over again. So this time's 25 divided by 7. I can't use 4. Why? Too high. 28 is too high. 7 times 4 is 28. That's too high. 7 times 3. What is it? 21. So you divide it. Now you multiply. And now you're going to subtract. All right. Yes, it is 4. Now here's the thing. You know you're done when you don't have any other numbers to bring down. And your remainder is smaller than your denominator here. Okay? So this, you guys are used to putting an R4, R being the remainder 4. In middle school and high school, we go fractions. So you're going to put your 4, which is your remainder, on top. And over here again, just like in this division problem, the 7 is on the bottom. You're going to keep the 7 on the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to run through this. So right here we go. Allie, what did you multiply by first? So I'm going to do this. This is what I teach my kids in partial quotient. Find these numbers. I know 7 can go into 31 4 times, so I'm just going to multiply this number by 400. 400. 7 times 4 is 28. Then add my 2 zeros. Because remember, it had to be 4 digits, and it has to be smaller than the number up here. When I subtract, I have to borrow here. By the way, that's a 0, my fault. 11 minus 8 is 3. So 305, I'm down to 305. So how many times can 7 go into 30? 4, but this time add a 0. So let's do it by 40. Let's multiply by 40. 4 times 7, 28. Go ahead and add that 0. Subtract. Can't do 0 minus 8, but it's going to be 2. 10 minus 8 is 2. I'm down to 25. How many times does 7 go into 25? 3. And I'm just going to put my 3 over here. I know 7 times 3 is 21. And then, Allie, once you subtract, you get 4, right? Okay, but so now does your answer, does it add up to, this is 3 plus 0 is 3, 4 plus 0 is 4, and 4 plus nothing is 4. So did you get 443? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Which number are you on? Are you on 5? Or, okay, you get caught up. Actually, start on this one right now. Start on this one when we go to the next page, and then we can go back and do the ones you're missing. Okay. So 443, but notice the remainder is the 4 here. So we would do the same thing. 4 over 7. Okay, next page. You guys ready? I got to see where I'm at time-wise. I got 5 minutes. Okay, and then I got to do part 3. Okay, the regular way. I do not know how many times 4 goes into 2094. So I am going to hide both numbers. I do not know how many times it goes into 209. But I do know how many times does 4 go into 20. 3 times 4 is 12. There's something closer. 5. Put your 5 over the 0 because you're working with just 2 digits, which is the 20. What's 5 times 4? So again, you just did the division, which is the dirty. You did the multiplication, which is the monkey. Now you're doing the subtraction, which is the smells. And what's the next step? Bring down your 9. Okay, how many times does 4 go into 9? Or what's 9 divided by 4? 2. Can't do 3 because 4 times 3 is 12. That's too large. So put your 2 up here. Multiply 4 times 2. What's 9 minus 8? And bring down your... Okay. And notice, we can't stop here. Number 1, we can't stop because we brought down the 4. Number 2, 14 is larger than 4. So we gotta go through Dirty Monkey, small bad again. What's 14 divided by 4? 4 times 3 is the closest you can get, which is 12. And 4 minus 2. Now, create a fraction bar. What are you going to put on top? What are you going to put on the bottom? All right. Later on, we'll talk. This actually simplifies to 1/2, but I'm not worried about that today. 2/4 is a good enough answer for me. If you're doing partial quotients, this is what I would do. Okay. What number up here can I multiply by 4 to get 4 digits in under 2094? So if I hide these 2, 4 goes into 25. So let me multiply by 500. 1 0 for the 9 and 1 0 for the 4. 5 times 4 gives me 20. Then put in my 2 zeros. Now remember, if you don't do partial quotients, you don't have to write this out. You can just watch. 4 minus 0 is 4. 9 minus 0 is 9. 0 minus 0 is 0. And 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay. Same thing here. I got to figure out how many times 4 can go into 94. I got to have 2 digits at least. So if I hide that, I know 4 goes into 9 2 times. So I'm going to multiply by 20. Yeah, good work. 20 times 4 is 80. This is a 4. 9 minus 8 is 1. And 4 goes into 14 3 times, which is going to be 12. I get my 2 as my remainder. So now add up over here. I get 3 plus 0 plus 0, 3. 2 plus 0, 2. And 5 plus nothing. And then I have my remainder. 2 on top. And my 4 stays the same here. Any questions there? You may, and I actually have to stop for a second.